LGBT rights under siege, how Jordan's new law damages digital freedoms. On August 12th, Jordan's king approved a controversial cybercrime law, drawing sharp criticism from human rights activists who caution against its potential to infringe upon online rights and target marginalized groups, notably the LGBT community. The Cybercrime Law of 2023 ambiguously penalizes the distribution of pornographic content and any content, quote, promoting, instigating, aiding, or inciting immorality. Additionally, it restricts protective digital freedoms like VPNs, also used by the LGBT community for safeguarding their online identities. Rasha Younes, a senior researcher for Right Watch's Lesbian, Gay, Bisexual, and Transgender Rights Program, noted that the law could, quote, destroy all forms of LGBT expression online. Echoing this sentiment, an LGBT rights activist warned of the intensification of, quote, interference in people's private lives. Expressing grave concerns, Jonas declared, quote, the new cybercrime law will only exacerbate these abusive practices and expand censorship of free expression. The first step is to repeal the 2023 Cybercrimes Law.
All right. Do you have anything? Usually, you have a summary of your takes here.
Well, okay, so basically, part of what confused me about this, and let me find the exact kind of um, basically this is a law that's supposed to be against cybercrime. And from an economic perspective, this honestly confuses me because the law also, okay, here's a quote from the article. Quote, the law also threatens the right to anonymity under Article 12 by appearing to prohibit the use of virtual private networks, VPNs, proxies, and Tor, which many LGBT people use to shield themselves online, effectively forcing individuals to choose between keeping their identity secure and freely expressing their opinions. So this is like very confusing to me because this is a little bit separate than LGBT rights. Like prohibiting the use of VPNs. Like have worked for institutions where the use of a VPN is mandatory.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like, what about all these sectors of the economy that use this for literally their own data protection? Like, if you work in the medical industry, if you're working with electronic health records, as at least in America, it's a standard that you are
Mm,
mandated to use a VPN to even access certain materials and databases.
mm, mm,
So I'm like,
mm.
how tech companies aren't going to want to engage if you're not even allowing them the use of a VPN. Um, but I think the framing of the law is also very important because there's many pieces to it, right? But there are these two articles which is punishes the production, distribution, and consumption of product adult content, right? Which is undefined, and then content promoting, instigating, aiding, or inciting immorality. Again, very, very vague and undefined. And most people are saying that this is going to uniquely target LGBT people, just the
Right,
inciting
right.
immorality.
I mean, that's the best kind of law when when terms are not defined and just leaves it up for interpretation. That's just how it's designed that way. You know, it's great when you want to be discriminatory
Mm-hmm.
and against a certain group of people. Then when this ambiguity opens your hands to just be selective in how you um, execute the law, right? So it's
Yeah.
almost as if the ambiguity is by design, just so that your hands are not tied in how you want to interpret the law. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's what you learn in law school. The best laws are laws that are not very clear and up for interpretation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yes.
best for abuse of the law. Um,
Yeah.
and Oh, I think this is important to highlight. Zaid, who's in Jordan, is saying, due to this law, I had to delete all my social media to stay safe.
Oh my god. Well, thank you so much, Zaid. This is why I love our audience. We have eyes and ears everywhere, guys. Look at us. We're almost like the Illuminati, right? Look at our audience are giving us. Yeah, this is why it's good to have such a global audience. You guys are live in the chat, telling us, giving us information about where you live. So thank you for
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he had a follow up statement saying this law uses a lot of broad and ambiguous wording in its articles in order to suppress anything from LGBT content to blasphemy to even political opinions.
Yeah, wow. And this was not expected from a country like Jordan. You would think that Jordan is one of those Islamic countries who is trying to go the other direction sometimes. Like that's what the impression you get. So this is weird from Jordan. I
It's
mean, at the
funny.
time, it's yeah, yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you,
Go
because
on.
in the
Yeah.
comments that D, our lovely editor, included in this article, that's actually some of the reactions that people were having on Twitter, basically being like, "I thought Jordan was supposed to be one of the progressive countries."
Yeah, yeah. Well, I
And like
mean,
based
it's
on the
not.
experiences of the people I know living in Jordan, it does not seem that way at all.
I mean, the standards are pretty low, so they are still one of the more progressive countries, even with all this nonsense. They're still relatively better, right? So,
God
but the
damn.
standards are pretty low. The standards are pretty low, so that's how that works, right?
Yeah.
And
Oh,
also, yeah,
remember
like,
how we
well,
covered how
yeah,
they were trying to promote a law in Jordan to help like criminalize child beating, and there were people that were from the Islamist parties in Jordan literally coming forth and saying, "No, we can't have harsh punishments for child beating because that's against Islam. It will oh, what did they say? They basically said that it'll encourage children to not follow Islam, and then also it's going to destroy the Islamic family." I'm like, "Oh wow, so you that talk about a self-report. Talk about a self-report."
right, yeah. Sage from Jordan is saying progressive my ass. Oh, Zaid. I'm sorry. Okay. Wallace was also not saying that.
I
Oh my
bet
God,
he
Jordan.
gets so triggered when he sees comments like that. I can only imagine. These dumbasses, if they only knew. What the fuck?
Yeah, like, oh my God. Zaid, love to you. Oh, support.
Yo, I love Zayd.
Okay.
Zayd is like my little brother, I swear.
Yeah.
Um,
What? Okay, I'm trying to read one comment from Wallace for the last 10 minutes. Okay, Wallace saying, "Oh my God, Jordan was going in the right direction, and then this. Shame on the king who has a wealth mother." By the way, I don't know why that is relevant, but okay. I just wanted to show that highlight that people feel like that, and also there was a comment here that D highlighted. So on Twitter, somebody saying, "I thought." Jordan was one of the slightly more progressive countries in the Middle East. So yeah, see that people do have that attitude about Jordan. They have to, and also Spacilla is saying AR has its own spy network. Exactly. It's the Ministry of we're a republic. We should have a Ministry of Intelligence. I think that we have our own spies. Yeah. I think when our volunteer network grows, Susie, we should have ministries. Like we should have each. We should, how our local groups are
ooh.
consulates. I think our volunteer groups should call have ministries because just to go with the republic theme.
Mm.
Yeah, the Ministry of Intelligence, the Ministry of our propaganda, our
Ministry of
advertising.
Finance.
Yeah, Ministry of Finance. Our advertising team could be a Ministry of Propaganda. Like,
I
no,
don't like that.
nah. Okay. All right, we got two super chats. Do you want to read those while I get the next news?
Oh,
Oh,
let
I
me
love
get
the
them
next news.
pulled up.
Oh
Gation
my god.
American. Oh, thank you, Gation. Saying, I wonder if they'll. I think he's talking about the CCP. I wonder if they'll use work incentivized brain implants, aka pay raises for workers with implants, and then have scores based on brain scans. Wow. You know,
Oh,
that's
it's Black Mirror.
next level
I think you should call
dystopian.
Black Mirror Asian American with that
Yeah.
idea.
Honestly,
Yeah.
Gayshan American should be a writer on Black Mirror. That's the perfect job for him. And he gave another super chat, thank you, saying, down with Yellow River imperialism, down with tankies. No matter how heavy the rain, the flower of democracy shall bloom.
Oh wow, that's
Beautiful.
beautiful. That's beautiful. Thank you so much for the super chat, Asian American. Um, yeah. Okay. Yeah, Drusilla is saying, wouldn't surprise me about China. Yeah. Okay, so this next news sound like exactly the way that we need to finish off the news. So thank you.
Yes,
I'm so
exactly.
glad. I think Susie, you have such a good way of like. Every time you put the news together, I see the wisdom behind how you
Mm.
decided. You put some important, but at the beginning, you put some of the heavy stuff a little bit in the middle, but you also try to close it off in a way that we could go a little bit more relaxed, a little bit more funny, a
With a
little bit less
smile on
depressed
your
with a
face.
smile. Yeah, you know, I appreciate your work. I appreciate how you put some thought into how to organize the news for us. So thank you so much, Susie, and thank you so much, Dee and Newman and the rest of the team for all the things that you guys are doing.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
seriously.
also shout out to our video editor, which I cannot name, for cutting the videos as well. I'm putting them
Hmm.
on
Hmm.
YouTube as well.
And thank you for
All
everyone that
right.
supports us. Yeah, because
Yeah, yeah.
it's through your financial support that we're able to keep doing this show.
Thank you, guys.
Um,
Yeah, but yeah, there's PayPal, there's Patreon, there's YouTube membership, and there's super chats, guys. Please continue supporting us so we could pay our team, at least the ones that we are able to pay for now. So please let us help us out, and also just like the video if you can support us. Do you know who makes the most amazing, gorgeous, and other adjectives that I can't use here on YouTube, blasphemous art ever? We do. And for some reason, we are giving it away for free. Download them now using the link in the description before we change our mind.